Let's start adding people now. Yeah.
Karishma, there's no audio.
तो रेशमा इसमें ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा है.
Hi everyone, I'm Priya Vijay. 100% plant-based and 100% gluten-free is one of the toughest kinds of baking. In this e-learning course, I have got it all covered. With 10 recipes, few of them savory, few of them sweet, 100% gluten-free, 100% plant-based, and 100% yeast-free. For all the details, you could check the link on the website. Hello everyone, I'm Priya Vijay. Here I am with a 100% whole wheat e-learning course where I'm covering 15 recipes and all of these are plant-based as well. By plant-based, I mean all the recipes are dairy-free and we are not using any ingredient that comes from an animal source. Most of the whole wheat breads that we usually bake are chewy, gummy, and dense in texture. And I promise you, none of the recipes are like those. And I promise you, you wouldn't be tasting any yeast or you wouldn't be having an overpowering earthy wheat flavor as well. All the recipes are described in detail in the video and the PDF, so I'm sure you're not going wrong anywhere. For more details, you could click the link on the website.
Hi everyone, I am Karishma Surana, this side from Team Wellcure, and I am going to be hosting today's session. I welcome you all to this live introductory session of the Breads and Spreads and Gluten-Free Vegan Bakes e-learning course. So before we begin this session, I would like to give a few instructions for it to ensure that the session progresses smoothly. I would request, all of you to keep your microphones on mute and your mobile phones on silent. For any communication, we'll use the chat box, and you may want to take notes for future reference. I would request you to, ask questions which are relevant to today's topic. So I think most of you are familiar with what Wellcure is all about. It is a digital platform for natural health and natural living. There are various sections on our platform, from live sessions, e-learning courses, recordings, ebooks, Q&A support, collection of various testimonials of health journeys of people. Also, to know more about Wellcure, you can surely check our website or download our app from App Store or Play Store. So this is going to be the session format for today's introductory session. So the program expert is going to talk about conventional baking versus plant-based baking. Also, we'll be talking about the key principles of plant-based baking. What is gluten-free baking? There are two recipe demos which will also be shown today. And then in the end, we'll talk about the special offer which we have for all of you today. And in the end, we'll take Q&A. There you can ask all your doubts about the course or the recipes or anything. So I would now like to, take a minute to introduce our program expert to all of you, Priya Vijay. She is a plant-based food, health, and fitness enthusiast. and she has been among the top 40 of MasterChef, India 6 season 6. And she currently runs a home-based bakery, Melted Down, which provides plant-based, gluten-free, refined sugar-free, refined flour-free, and nutrient-dense confectionery. So it's a pleasure to have you, Priya, here, and over to you now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Karishma. Hello, everyone. Hope all of you doing well. And people who cannot hear, possibly if you've connected to Zoom for the first time, please connect the audio. It's the microphone, I think, that you see on the left corner of your screen. You have to connect that. And if your internet is strong, Janvi, particularly, I guess it's pretty clear, like to most of us, and my Wi-Fi for now is pretty stable. So possibly just, switch to your mobile data and, try. It could be a little network issue at your end, though I've tried and kept it. Karishma, is my voice clear?
It's a slight echo is there, I think. Otherwise, it's clear. Yeah. So just try and see how your mic is placed. I think you're using the wireless one. So yeah. Fine.
Is this better?
Yeah, slightly better. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Actually, I had to shut all my doors and windows because there's work happening outside. Possibly that's the reason it's kind of echoing. And thank you so much, all of you all, for pulling out time and coming here on a Saturday morning. And a couple of you all are pretty familiar. We've met earlier in a couple of sessions earlier, live sessions, and a couple of you all are new. Thank you so much for joining in. So, it is mainly about understanding what plant-based baking is. It could be new to a couple of us, right? And the entire thing revolves around holistic lifestyle. Plant-based has nothing to do with being vegan, because veganism is a lifestyle approach, right? And whereas when we talk about plant-based, it is more of a holistic approach. It's more dedicated towards, how you're consuming, what food are you consuming, and how it really affects your mental health, physical health, everything put together. And that's what we talk about as plant-based baking. So Karishma, if you can just put up the first slide, so I can just, just run through the points for plant-based baking. I don't want to make it too boring, but just a slight thing. So yeah, so what is plant-based baking? It is a holistic approach where we consider that, food as a medicine. Okay. Right. So basically, we try and focus on consuming fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, primarily, right? And then we avoid the consumption of any dairy or animal source of ingredients. Okay, and we focus to eat food that is closest in the natural form possible, which is preservative-free and not highly processed, right? And guys, if you have any questions, this is an overview of plant-based thing for me, but if you have any questions, you can keep putting it in the chat, or at the end, we can just have a small Q&A and you can keep asking me. So this is a small overview about what plant-based actually is. Please do not get confused between plant-based and vegan food. Someone who is plant-based is not necessarily a vegan, and someone who follows a vegan lifestyle is not necessarily on a plant-based journey. So basically, there is a fine line of differentiation between the two. I've come from a F&B industry. I have been baking and selling food for the past 10 years. So, food is really close to me, and really, it's actually personal to each one of us. And for everyone, health is defined very differently, right? So I have nothing against people, but it is putting it out loud what I really believe in.
because I have been plant-based myself for the last 2 years, and I have seen an immense change in a good way with regard to my health. So hence, I'm literally sharing what I really follow on a personal level. Okay. And then, it comes to like, what's the difference between, conventional baking and plant-based baking. And I'm sure that most of y'all here are know a bit of baking. Karisma, can you change the slide? Right. So these are the basic things about, differentiation of conventional baking and plant-based baking, especially when it's coming. Firstly, when it comes to fats in conventional baking, mostly saturated fats, butter or cream is ideally used, right, as a base cake or any kind of bread baking. Whereas when we come to plant-based baking, we work with PUFAs and NUFAs as basically polyunsaturated fatty acids and monounsaturated saturated fatty acids, right? Which is a healthier option, of course, because they digest quickly, and plus the energy derived from PUFAs and NUFAs are first used to burn rather being stored in your adipose tissue. Okay. And cholesterol is only found in animal source. There is no source of plant that gives you any kind of cholesterol. Okay. And then the kind of flours that we usually use in, baking, we ideally use maida, right? Mostly it's maida used in normal kind of baking. And this is all out of experience, guys. I'm talking because I've been on that side of baking. And it has been like totally a journey for me. From being a conventional baker to being a plant-based baker. So I can really tell that, it makes so much of a difference. And then coming to your sweeteners, in conventional baking, usually white sugars are 90% used. Then you do have options of people using brown sugar, molasses and stuff. But white sugar is refined to such a level that there's sulfur included in it. Our body was never made to digest any kind of chemicals. Okay, first you want to understand that. So we want to consume more of natural products, something like, in plant-based baking. Someone who's whole food plant-based, they tend to consume unprocessed sugar that, that comes from dates and raisins and stuff. Otherwise, if a slight processed option is the coconut sugar and jaggery, because these are not empty calories. There is some amount of minerals that you're consuming along with it, whereas in white sugar, they're just empty calories. They just spike up your insulin. There is no nutritional value to white sugar, basically. And then any kind of milk, it's usually animal sourced milk in conventional baking, right? Like you use creams and animal milk, buffalo or cow. In plant-based, we usually use nut milk that comes mostly from, almonds, cashews, walnuts, seeds, sunflower seeds, and then a lot of people even extract milk from millets as well. Okay, like I said, conventional baking, yes, it is calorie dense. Okay, it is not necessarily that it is nutrition dense. Okay, there's a lot of difference between consuming calories and consuming calories in the form of nutrition. Okay, and then whereas in plant-based baking, we focus on consuming calories. Yes, it is calorie dense, plus it is nutrient dense as well. You are trying and consuming carbs, fat, protein, along with a lot of minerals. Cool. This is like a slight basic differentiation so that you know what plant-based baking is, why is it so different from any kind of conventional baking. And plant-based baking is not really tedious. It's really simple process. Whereas, yes, you want to create something fancy, obviously you can. There are a lot of ingredients that are coming into the market with the increase of demand, right? To make plant-based baking even more easier. And then, the second thing that people ask me is gluten-free baking or, eating gluten-free food better than consuming gluten. Karisma, could you please change the slide? Okay, first of all, what is gluten? Gluten is a protein component found in, well, primarily in wheat, rye, and barley. These are the primary sources of gluten. All the other flours are considered gluten-free by nature unless until there is a cross-contamination. Okay, just a sec. Let me just open the door. Maybe it might get a little better. Just give me a minute. Maybe it gets better. Right? So basically, gluten is not considered unhealthy. It is just that our human intestine, the walls of the intestine, have a receptive called a villi. So basically, they help digest the gluten. And if that is missing or there is a distortion in this villi, gluten becomes really difficult to get absorbed by the intestine. And most of us, because of eating such highly processed foods since our childhood, there is some amount of fraction of distraction when it comes to how your villi performs. So that's the reason over a period of time, you get gluten sensitive, right? But otherwise, gluten is a protein. Obviously, protein is considered great, but it is just that the way your body reacts to it is what you want to take care of. There are people whom I've heard have severe celiac diseases because of gluten. They just start to choke, and gluten doesn't do too well for them. Otherwise, gluten has nothing to be worried about, right? And while you're sourcing ingredients for a gluten-free kind of a diet, you want to make sure what your source is. You do not want any ingredient that comes with any kind of cross-contamination. There are a lot of places and facilities in India which sell gluten-free certified products, right? So yeah, so is going gluten-free healthier? Most of us have severe allergies or autoimmune diseases. Yes, exactly. So that's what it becomes like a autoimmune disease. My father also had the same thing. He started getting rashes. It is basically your body starts getting antibodies and they start fighting within your body itself, causing a lot of allergies. So most of us have severe allergies or autoimmune diseases and indigestion caused by gluten. Most of us are unaware of it. Gluten allergy tests could help to determine it. But considering the calorie weight, like if you say that are gluten-free flours lesser on the calorie scale, no, it is equivalent to how wheat, rye, or barley is, right? It is just that they obviously both are carbohydrates. Wheat, rye, and barley do have some amount of protein. Even the millet flours have, but there is a fraction of difference with the mineral content, right? So this is based about how gluten and gluten-free baking is. So guys, obviously this course, we are all here because I have come up along with WellCure for an e-learning course. One is on 100% whole wheat bread, right? And then there is another course which is on 100% gluten-free bakes. In the Karisma, can you just put on the slide that has about the course, and you can
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah. Right, the 100% whole wheat, the content. Yeah, the content of 100%. Yeah. So guys, basically I'm covering 15 recipes here in the 100% whole wheat, and everything's plant-based. Plant-based baking is slightly tricky. I have put in a lot of effort, research, and got everything together. It's literally taken me 3 months to curate like this 50 recipes, and everything's worked really beautifully. And they're simple procedures. It is just about understanding a little of science behind how they, how flours really act up. And we're working with only 100% whole wheat organic flours. Okay, and if you see the ingredients eventually are really basic, it is just about the technique that you really want to understand. And you can make like 15 variations or even more. Like if you've been baking, you can actually use these recipes to come up with like more recipes of your own as well. Okay, I have covered like most of the base recipes and a little more above and beyond this, you can actually work around. And then coming to the gluten-free part, if you can give me the course details, Karishma, the same. Yeah, along with, sorry guys, so I forgot to speak about this. Along with the bread 15 recipes, I've covered 10 bread recipes as well. Obviously, these are oil-free too. Okay, the spreads are 100% oil-free, plant-based, and of course, the spreads are gluten-free, right? So basically 25 recipes in the 100% whole wheat baking course. And then coming to the gluten-free part. Right, so this has about 16 recipes. I have, along with the gluten-free breads, and breads include, breakfast loaves and tea cakes as well. Along with this, we have given you granola bars and cereals. Okay, so right, we have 10 recipes from the savory and the sweet, and 6 recipes from the granola. And again, all the recipes are really easy to make. Again, it is just about understanding the technique. And I have tried and curated in a way the recipes that it's really easy to understand. Nonetheless, about how the e-learning goes is, so, diabetes, if you're going to ask me about diabetes is a different ballgame. If you're going to just talk about diabetes, I will say that, okay, you're controlling your diet, but what are you doing even physically to, shed possibly the fat? If you're talking about type 2 diabetes, guys, plant-based diets have highly helped reversing a lot of lifestyle diseases. That could be hypertension, diabetes, obesity. Okay, every food is okay for even a diabetic or a hypertension, but there is another side, is how you physically active with your, activities. And there is another thing that you really need to keep in mind is glycemic index and glycemic load. Glycemic index will give you, that how much of food helps to spike up your insulin levels. And there's a glycemic load, that how many portions are you really eating to get that much spike in your insulin levels. Okay, a small portion of any food is fine. Like eating probably 1 scoop of ice cream wouldn't do as much as harm as eating 3 scoops of ice cream. Okay, any food is fine for a diabetic, hypertensive, or someone who's suffering from obesity, but obviously there is a fine line that how much are you actually putting the effort in to even reverse the disease. Okay, obviously food is a great way. And I always speak about this in my lives, and people who have attended my sessions or know me personally, that, I teach all this. Yes, this is like a way for people who are on the transition of turning plant-based or like a healthier lifestyle. But the core of your diet has to be whole food plant-based, where you're giving the environment to your body to actually reverse diseases. Okay, all this is good. Like once you are in control. No, wheat is not gluten-free. wheat has gluten. Once you are in charge of your body, all the food that's available, you will be mindful about the portion that you're actually consuming, and that's what really matters. You do not want to overdo anything, right? I have, like I said, that I have a person in my house, like my dad's being hypertensive, my mom's being diabetic, but it's always the portion that really matters. Okay, so guys, I'm just giving a sneak peek of two videos. One's on the 100% whole wheat, and one's on the gluten free. Is this a sneak peek so that you know that how the course really looks like, the videos, how they really look like? Yeah, Karishma, you can just play this one.
So now we're making a crusty French bucket. It is one of the super versatile breads. Cut it into half-inch rounds. Use it as the base for your crostini or bruschetta. Eat it with your favorite party dip. Eat it with a bowl of pasta or a warm soup. It is just so satisfying. Made with just 4 simple ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast. That's about it. It is a super simple recipe, so let's dive into it. So in a bowl, take warm water. Add your yeast into it and let it sit for about 2 minutes. Let it dissolve. Meanwhile, in another bowl, we're going to sieve our 100% whole wheat flour and the salt. Always make sure you sieve your whole grains. It just gives a lighter texture to your bread. We're going to keep this aside. We'll wait for our yeast to dissolve. Our yeast is dissolved. We can use a whisk to break the lumps. Make a well in the center of the flour. We're going to add our yeast and water mix into it, and we'll begin to knead and get everything together. There's not much kneading required because this is more like an artisanal loaf that we'll be doing. Just mix it well, and then we can do stretch and folds for strengthening the gluten. So if you realize, we do not use any fat in buckets. So it's a 100% oil-free, fat-free bread. That's what gives it the crusty and the chewy texture. As we begin to mix, in case if you need some more water, a tablespoon or 2, you can add to mix it till you see no dry flour anymore. We need a stiff dough. It is not a soft dough. So if you need a tablespoon or 2 of water, you can add. You don't want to see any dry flour. Don't make the dough too soft. Right? So this is what we have. And now we'll begin kneading it. Now, how would you manually knead a dough is hold it, start rubbing it, and get it back. Change the side, push it, get it back, and the pressure is just from your palm. Turn it, rub it, get it back. Turn, rub, get it back, and that's how you keep doing this till the dough comes together and doesn't break too much. So you can use a KitchenAid for this if you have one, but this is how you would be kneading otherwise. So roughly get it together. Might take about 5 to 7 minutes of kneading. So make sure how you're kneading it exactly this. With the pressure of your palm, you're just going to push it and get it back. Do not like rub it because the gluten is not strengthening that way. You're breaking the gluten. So push it and get it back. Push it and get it back. So once your dough is come together, we are going to place it in a greased bowl. Use a wet cloth to cover it, and we're going to keep this to rest and to rise for about 1.5 to 2 hours or till doubles. And then we'll get back to it. So our dough for the baguettes has been resting for about 1.5 hours. So this is what it looks like. It's risen well. At this point, what we're going to do is punch it, get it together, get it on a countertop, and we will portion them equally. Now the shaping, just press it down into a rectangular. Just roll it to the center. The other side goes on top and press this. Pinch the seal to seal it. And now just roll it along the length of your choice. Ideally, the diameter of this is 5 to 6 centimeters, and the length you can decide anywhere between 56 centimeter to 1 meter too. And if you want to make mini baguettes, so even about a 12 inch is good. Just pinch the sides and shape it well. So this is what we have. We're going to keep this, go to the next. Always pinch the seam. And with firm yet gentle hands, just roll it into a thin, long log. It'll at least double in size, so keep that in mind when you decide the length. Take a baking tray, take a kitchen towel, dust it with flour, and place these equidistant, folding between the cloth parallelly. So this is how you're going to be able to shape it. You really don't need a special tray for this. We are going to rest this for about 30 minutes before we bake this. So once this is done, you're going to use a wet cloth to cover this and let it rise for 30 minutes or till doubles. So our baguettes have been resting for close to 30 minutes and they are well risen. So this is what they look like. I'm going to transfer these on the baking tray. Just space it according to the size of your baking tray. So these are well risen, transferred on the baking tray. Make sure while transferring you do not punch it out the air. And now we're going to dust this with the flour. So this is what's going to give you that artisanal look. So after you've dusted them, you're going to score them to anything of your choice. However, one straight line or 3 parallel lines. So we score so that when the bread expands, it expands through these cuts, and that's what gives it a more rustic look. So we are going to bake this in a preheated oven for about 35 to 40 minutes or longer if required. So here are our crusty French baguettes. So we let them cool for at least an hour before we slice them.
So guys, actually this recipe Thank you so much, Vidya. Thank you everyone for the comments. So this recipe will be shared with you all. And the kneading, I have kind of explained in the rest of the, preceding other videos as well, that what will really be, what you really have to look for to get the kneading right. It could be different for each one of us because, the amount of, if you're doing it manually, the physical strength kind of depends, varies from person to person, but there are a few things, key things that you really need to look into that that you're kind of done, which I've actually explained, okay? It is just about forming gluten. That's the reason the kneading is done. And someone asked me if they can use emmer wheat. Ideally, I didn't get great results with emmer wheat, so I wouldn't really actually vouch for any kind of emmer wheat. We're just working with 100% whole wheat, organic, stone ground flour. Okay, that's what gives the best output. With emmer wheat, I wasn't too happy because we are working with gluten, right? And since it is plant-based, it is pretty tacky, and that's the reason I just zeroed to working with 100% whole wheat, organic, stone ground flour. So coming to the gluten-free part, so we'll play one of the recipes from there.
So now we're making a zucchini breakfast loaf. Most of us do have this whole idea about how would we even use zucchini in our breakfast breads. Here is a very simple yet yummy recipe. Let's dive in straight to the recipe. First, I'm going to take flax meal. So these are unsalted, unroasted flax seeds, which I've ground into seeds. And to this, I'm adding 6 tablespoons of water and keeping aside for about 10 to 15 minutes for it to gelatinize. And now we're going to make our own oat flour. I've taken rolled oats, taking half the quantity of the rolled oats and grinding it into a flour. So this is what we're looking for. And we are making our own almond flour, unroasted, unsalted almonds. Just grind them. Add the almond flour into the bowl. We're adding rest of our dry ingredients into this. The remaining rolled oats, white rice flour. You can replace it to brown rice flour. Potato starch. So potato starch gives a good body to our breads. So in this particular recipe, I'm using 2 starches, that's potato starch and tapioca starch. You can replace these starches to arrowroot or use any one kind of starch. Baking powder, baking soda, salt. Just give this a good mix. Then coming to the wet ingredients. So in a bowl, I'm going to add grated zucchini. So this is green zucchini. You can add yellow as well. Oil. Sweetener. Apple cider vinegar. And if you wish, you can add some seasonings of your choice, but I highly recommend it. And now, the flax egg. Just give it a nice stir and add it in. You will mix to your wet ingredients. And now add the dry ingredients into it. And with the help of cut and fold method, mix it in. So this is the method so that you're incorporating air. So it's cut and fold. Cut and fold. So we're going to do this only till all our ingredients have come together. We do not want to overmix, otherwise the bread is going to become very dense. So only till your dry ingredients are well incorporated, you're going to do the cut and fold method. Just be patient and don't go ahead adding water, because zucchini, once comes in contact with salt and other ingredients, it starts leaving out its own water. So this is what we're looking for. We have a nice dough. And now take your baking pan and put it in. And even it out. We're going to even out the top. And we're going to bake this at 180 degrees Celsius for about 30 to 35 minutes.
So, guys, like someone asked on the group that, how would they ask for queries? Certainly, the e-learning app has a queue, where you can drop in your questions and I can revert to you. But, I'm pretty much open to, you getting in touch with me on Instagram. I'm there with the same name, and I'll be more than happy, because sometimes on the e-learning app, I might take a little while to revert back, but I surely will. But yes, you can get in touch with me on Instagram for any kind of doubts, even with respect to the course. If you have like more questions, you can certainly ask me. And some of the recipes, I've covered like 10 recipes of the breads and sweet and savory both. Some recipes have starches, some are completely 100% starch free. I have done a permutation combination of both, where it has starches, where it isn't. And I have given replacements wherever possible. But, ideally some recipes, they are named away because that behaves like a binding agent in the entire recipe. Like if they're going to ask me if zucchini can be replaced, I didn't find 100% swap to zucchini. Ideally, if you swap, you might have to work around the hydration levels for the same recipe, right? But most of the ingredients used are important. There is nothing that you can really eliminate. Yes, swaps are available, but I wouldn't say they're going to be 100% swap giving the same results. There would be a varied difference, which is okay. If you're on that, completely starch-free kind of a zone, you can certainly try. The texture is going to be slightly different, but certainly the recipes kind of work. And like today, officially, we are launching both the courses. One is the breads and spreads, which is 100% whole wheat. The actual price is this. We have, Karishma can run you through about this.
Yeah, so I'll just talk about the course offer now. I've also sent the details in the chat section also. So we are running an offer. So the breads and spreads course is originally priced at $12.99, but we are running a launch offer. Launch 25 is the code, and then it's for $974. And the gluten-free vegan bakes and granola course is for $1,100, but after the offer, it's for $825. For people who want to buy the combo course, like both these courses together, we have a combo 30 offer going on. So the actual price of both these courses is $2,399, but after applying the code, you can avail it for $1,680.
Right. So
also, you can scan the QR code, which is there from your phone camera, and then you will be directly, you can use the link to register and pay. And the coupon code is launch25. I've already sent the details, and the details will also be sent on the WhatsApp group as well. For people who want to, GPay or Paytm, the number is also there on the screen. So this is for the breads and spreads course, the e-learning course. And the gluten-free vegan bakes course, the same code is there, launch 25. And the offer price is 825.
Sushma, actually, this is an e-learning.
Yeah.
This is an e-learning course, guys. In case you guys are getting confused, this is an e-learning course which you can enroll in and you get access for a year. The videos are going to be with you. You can watch it at your own pace, and you can drop in the questions on the e-learning app or get in touch with me on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to help, because I completely understand sometimes when you are in the middle of baking, you kind of get stuck, because I have been in those situations myself. So you can certainly get in touch with me. And if you still have questions with regard to the course, please feel free to get in touch with me on the Instagram. I am with the same name, Priya_Vision. You can actually put your questions there on the DM. I can get back to you if you have any doubts with regard to the course. And once you've bought the course, you still have doubts, you can certainly get in touch. But yeah, like the e-learning will have a thing. There's not going to be a WhatsApp support because we are giving an option to drop your questions on the e-learning, because there will be all of us are buying courses at a different point of time, and the questions would be different, right? So guys, I have tried my best to incorporate my knowledge about 100% whole wheat and gluten-free, get it together, and plus working as a plant-based product, it has been really tricky, right? And someone asked me again that what is the difference between being vegan and plant-based. I want to be clear on this, that veganism is more of a lifestyle approach. Okay, it's a lifestyle approach where you try not to consume anything that comes from an animal source. It could be any product, it could be your clothing, it could be your footwear, right? And it doesn't really focuses on the food aspect. There are a lot of ingredients like maida, white sugar, starches. They are 100% vegan, okay, right? Do you understand? Like, you can still eat your pizza, you can still eat your burger the way they have to be served, okay? But it doesn't really focuses on like if you're consuming junk. There's a lot of junk that is vegan, okay? When it comes to plant-based, we are trying and eliminating a lot of processed food. We are not buying ingredients off shelves because we do not want to incorporate any kind of chemicals in our body. That's why I say someone who is vegan is not necessarily on a plant-based diet, and someone who is plant-based is not necessarily a vegan. Compassion, being humble, it comes very naturally. It could be towards your fellow human beings or animals. It's completely different for each one of us, right? I know a lot of people who are okay. Like, I say that I'm not an activist, okay? I wouldn't go like talking that, you should turn vegan or something, but I'm talking about food in aspect of how the food has the power to heal you, okay? Like, there is a very fine line, very, very thin line. Someone who is vegan is not necessarily on a plant-based diet. That's what I keep telling, right? I know a lot of vegans who eat whatever is there, like, they don't mind eating white bread, they don't mind eating pizza, they don't mind eating Maggi, because Maggi is technically, vegan, right? So plant-based is more of a holistic approach, how you're eating whole food as much as possible, trying to reverse a lot of diseases and stuff, right? So this is a little about the whole thing. No, the courses do not include any sourdough recipes, guys, but we keep doing. Along with WellPure, have done 100% whole wheat sourdough session. We might plan it in a month. For any other details with sourdough, you can certainly get in touch with me. And certainly, you can follow me on Instagram, where I keep updating about the courses on WellPure and a lot of health related stuff. Right? Any more questions like with regard to the course, Karishma, on the in platform?
Yeah, I think you have already answered a few of the questions which people were writing in between. If anyone has
Okay.
any more questions, you can write in the chat box and we are happy to answer. And
Yeah, I had one question. Sorry, I'm from Belcure team, but I think one of the queries which keep on coming for our recipe program is people think there are a lot of information is available on internet and YouTube about these some of these recipes. So can you share how whatever content you've shared, how it is different or better than why should people buy it with
Yes.
this? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's a very good question. Obviously, even I have always been with that idea when everything is available online. Why do we buy these courses? So, guys, from an aspect of a layman, okay, yes, there would be hundreds of recipes. The ingredients possibly could be the same. I won't say they wouldn't be. I have done an extensive trial error with the ingredients that's available for us in India. I'm based out of Bangalore, if someone wants to know. And what really works in our environment, I have given the entire source list about the ingredients, the brand that you need to use. There has been an extensive study about what flours really work and what don't. Okay, which I have incorporated in these recipes. These are not cut copy recipes, cut copy paste recipes from any of the website. I have worked for months together to get all this together. It is more of my hard work that I've put in here to actually understand the science, the nutrition aspect, and then create these courses. Okay, people who have been a part of my live courses, I hope the courses that I have created have been of great help for you all, because obviously you guys coming back to attend. Thank you so much. Because you guys come back to attend the classes. And another thing is all the recipes that I've covered is only by weight, so that I have precision and you have precision in the quantity that I have used. Because this is somewhere I have usually gone wrong, that when people give out recipes with cups, like cup measurements, all the recipes tend to vary. One cup might measure 200 grams, another one cup might measure 225 grams. There will be a lot of difference in the final recipe. So all the recipes here are covered only by weight, so that none of us are going wrong when it is coming to the ingredients that are being used. And plus, it is just the technique that you need to get right. I won't say in the first shot you're going to get it right. If you're lucky and you are hands-on with any kind of baking, you might get it right in the first shot as well. It might take a little of practice, which I won't say that you wouldn't get. It is just about understanding, a lot of practice, a lot of science, understanding that really goes in, especially when it comes to baking and kneading. With gluten-free thing, there is technically no kind of kneading really required. So gluten-free baking is way easier than actually baking with any gluten flours, especially with 100% whole wheat. And I know someone who's there on this, right now on this live, who's been a part of my 100% whole wheat, right? I'm sure like she took 2-3 tries even after attending my class to get the recipe right. Ideally, everyone does get it right. It is just about understanding where you actually went wrong, right? And it is about eliminating maybe hundreds of trial errors from your side. You might reduce the probability of doing those many trials to maybe 2-3 times and getting the recipe right. And baking requires a lot of patience. Please, you need that along with these courses. Okay. I'm hoping that I have, incorporated every aspect with regard to getting the recipes right. Right. And I've simplified to as much as possible. These courses, once you buy it, they're going to be valid for 1 year, guys. Right. So I kind of hopefully covered, but yes, any questions, that might crop up in your mind about the course, you can get in touch with me on Instagram, guys. I'm like pretty quick and yeah. So yeah, so you could just get more details on the WellCure website, and any more details with regard to the courses, you can get in touch with me on Instagram or anyone from the WellCure team. Thank you so much, Hemlata. Lakshmi, you can get in touch with me, guys. The ID talking about the WellCure courses. Anything else, you can get in touch with me on Instagram. I'll be more happy to help you all.
So someone is asking about the video access. So this course access will be given to you for a year, and you can, watch these videos as many times as you want. 1 year access is given for both the courses.
And just to add, we have our own, user learning management app. So you can easily access these courses on your mobile also. It's not necessary you have to just, have your laptop or computer and then see and do it, because many people like to just keep referring when they're actually doing. So obviously using a mobile is far easier. So you can access all these videos through there. And best part is that you can ask her questions, and Priya does, respond to some the queries from the backend. So support is there available with you. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Guys, any more questions? So Sunila, this is an online course. The links are mentioned in the chat box. Karishma has sent it. So this is a, guys, again, I guess you're getting confused. This is not a live course, but this is an e-learning course, which has been pre-recorded. Okay, and you can watch it at your own convenience. Any more questions, guys? Do feel free to get in touch with me on Instagram with the same name again. Thank you everyone. Potato starch, if you're telling me if you want to use any one kind of starch, you can replace it to tapioca. So Karishma is going to share the recording for today's class of this session on the WhatsApp group, right, Karishma?
Yes. Recording of the session will be shared in the WhatsApp group. If you're not a part of the WhatsApp group, I've already shared the link to join the WhatsApp group, so you can join there. All the details of the offer will also be shared there.
Thank you, Dhwani. Thank you, guys. And yeah, we're pretty much covered in time. Thanks, Sonam. My pleasure's all mine, guys. It's about me sharing my food with y'all, because I've put a lot of time and understanding about food and health and getting everything together. Thanks, Dhwani. So yeah. So any other information, like I said, get in touch with me on Instagram and we can talk more. And so here we end the session. Right? Thank you so much, guys. Really, really grateful and thankful that you actually on a Saturday morning, all of you all have come here.
So thank you so much to you, Priya, for being here with us today and for such an insightful session. I hope everyone enjoyed and they got to learn.
Thank you. Thanks, Karishma. Pleasure's all mine.
Thank you to everyone
also
for being there with us throughout the session. Have an amazing day ahead.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Bye.